Hi friends, Sarah's here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share with you my planning workflow when I was working on my Japan itinerary. It is gonna be my very first time visiting Japan with Ricky together. It's actually our first time flying to Asia together, but I'm hoping that everything that I planned so far is going to go smoothly. I know things will change, probably, most likely, closer to when we're leaving or maybe even when we get there. I hope this video will help you out if you are planning to go somewhere for the very first time, but I'm gonna be talking about specifically when I'm planning my very first trip to Japan. So let's talk about it. I feel like I've been planning my Japan itinerary for at least 6 months because I remember the first thing that I did was to make a wish list of all of the things that I wanted to do in Japan, and I got the ideas of what I want to do from friends, from videos on YouTube, from blog articles that I read, from TikTok, from Instagram, basically from everywhere. That is the first step that I usually do anytime I go anywhere new. And after I kind of got a list going, I would go on Google Map and actually plot all of these things that I want to do, whether it be like the museums, restaurants, a vista point, whatever it may be. I search for it on Google Map and then I add it to either my favorite or I would create a new favorite list or something like that. And that way Google Map will be able to plot all of the things that I have in my wish list. It will kind of give me an idea where those things are concentrated, and that is how I came up with my first draft of my Japan itinerary. That is how I know that I would be spending most of our time in Japan in Tokyo, because there are just a lot of things that I wanted to see and do because it's my first time there. And then that's also how I know that I wanted to go to the most west point of the destination that I plan to go to in Japan, which is gonna be Kobe. And then after Kobe, I'm gonna make my way to Osaka and then Kyoto and then back to Tokyo to fly to Singapore after my time is over in Japan. I'm gonna be in Japan basically for 10 full days, with kind of like the first day and the last day being like travel day. If you are planning to go to Japan for the very first time, let me know by liking this video and leave a comment below and tell me what is the thing that you're most excited about to do or to see in Japan. The next thing that I did that I feel like is super helpful is to actually watch a lot of videos here on YouTube, maybe on TikTok, maybe on Instagram Reel, of people who have actually been to Japan a couple times and look into what they highly recommend. However, be careful when doing this because I ended up with a lot of new things that I've added into my wish list, and when I kind of plotted on Google Map, I realized that they are either kind of out of the way or they are so popular that I might not have the time to line up for it or go for it, and it kind of makes me sad. But I keep thinking that even though this is gonna be my first time in Japan, it's not gonna be my last. So all of the things that I added to my wish list that I will not be able to do on this trip, I am going to try to do it for my future Japan trips. The next thing that I would highly recommend for you to do is to familiarize yourself with the Japan transport system. You're probably gonna be taking a lot of trains and a lot of buses. There are taxis around, but I heard that it could be pretty expensive. Rideshare apps are not as popular. There are probably some drivers that you might be able to find, but again, because of how little availability there are, it might be expensive as well. So make sure you know your public transport when you are in Japan. And I just want to share with you a couple things. Number one, there are actually multiple companies that run the trains in Tokyo. JR is only one of the companies. So once you have a rough draft or your first itinerary in Tokyo at least, and you know where you want to go, where you're staying, make sure to route your way from your hotel to your destination, because most of the time you might take the Tokyo Metro trains, and that is another company who runs the train system in Tokyo. And I also just found out about the Tokyo subway ticket. It's a public transport pass where you can get them for 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours. When I route my way from my hotel to the destinations that I want to see and do in Tokyo, I actually would be using more of the Tokyo Metro trains. So this Tokyo subway ticket is gonna be something that I plan to get because they are pretty affordable compared to just paying for the train fare individually. If you want to learn more about the Tokyo subway ticket, I will will leave the link in the description box below where you can go to the website, check out how much it is and what lines you can actually take in Tokyo that is included for this pass, and you can decide whether or not you want to get the Tokyo subway ticket when you are in Tokyo. The last thing I want to say about the public transport in Japan is that Google Map is pretty sufficient for you to use for navigating in Japan. However, my friends told me that Google Map actually kind of screwed them up when they were taking the Shinkansen. If you guys have been to Japan a couple times, let me know in the comment below, what is your favorite navigation app? Do you use Google Map or do you have another app that you would use? Let me know in the comment below. I think they were told to go on the wrong platform for their train. That's why they got lost. I think the trip that they took was only supposed to be about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it ended up being 4 hours because they have to hop off on their current wrong train and hop back into the correct one. So just beware of Google Map. Just make sure that you double check when you are in the train station and when you are standing in the platform, just to match up the train line as well as the direction for the train. I also downloaded a backup app called Japan Official Travel App. You can actually get direction around Japan with that app as well. So in case your Google Map is wrong, you want to check out this app as a backup for your navigation when you are in Japan. The next thing that I am doing to prepare myself as I go to Japan for the very first time is to learn a little bit of Japanese. I'm not gonna be fluent in Japanese in the next 3 months, but at least I want to know how to say hello, thank you, please, and excuse me. And I definitely have Google Translate already in my phone, and I've been kind of tinkering around with it just to learn to know how to use the app. You can either type out the words that you want to say, or you can actually speak to the app and it will translate it for you. And if you are going to a restaurant with only like a Japanese menu, or if you go to a museum or a landmark and they have a sign only in Japanese, you can actually take a picture of it and then Google Translate will translate the words in the picture. I heard it's not the best translation, but it's better than nothing. The next thing that I'm researching before I arrive in Japan is how to stay connected in Japan. I want to make sure that I have some type of connection when I'm out and about, because I definitely need Google Translate to work as well as Google Map when I'm out and about. And I actually check with my cell phone provider, which is T-Mobile, if they have any type of coverage internationally, and they do cover Japan. It's not the fastest data, but I think it would be good enough to get navigation and to use Google Translate. And if I ever need to watch anything or post anything on social media, I probably would just use the Wi-Fi that is available to me. I heard that in train stations there are available Wi-Fi everywhere, as well as obviously when I am back in my hotel, I can definitely use the Wi-Fi there. And that reminds me, if you wanna hang out with me while I'm in Japan, well, virtually on social media, make sure to follow my Instagram. I will try my best to actually post daily Instagram stories there, and I'm gonna try to update you as much as I can. So I will leave the link down below to my Instagram. But in case my T-Mobile data is not gonna work, or it's really slow to the point that I cannot get Google Map to work, I have downloaded Airelo app, and it's an app where you can purchase data from an eSIM technology. I have an iPhone 14 Pro and they don't have the physical SIM thing anymore on my phone, so I have to rely on eSIM. And I've heard pretty good review about Airelo, and a lot of people are actually using it when they are traveling abroad. I think you can get like a 7-day data pass for like $3 to $5. I don't remember exactly, but it's an option for a backup for me at least. Last but not least, I want to talk about how to get cash when you are in Japan. Even though more and more restaurants and shops accept credit cards, there are still a lot of restaurants that only accept cash. And the way I know is that I go to Google and I basically skim through the photos that people take, especially at like ramen shops. You know how they have those vending machines in the front where you buy your items first, you get a ticket, and then you get seated, and then they will bring you your food. I look for those pictures on Google and see if they have any type of credit card reader on it, but most of them only has like the cash accepting machine thingy with the coins as well. So I know for sure that they do not take credit cards, and that I definitely need to carry cash with me at all times in Japan. And there are actually a few different ways you can get cash before you go to Japan or when you are in Japan. So let me share with you the 3 ways that you can do this. Number 1, you can request some Japanese yen from your US banks. I've actually tried this the day before I was planning to fly to Canada. I have Wells Fargo and I tried to request Canadian dollars online, and they actually need, I want to say, 3 to 5 business days for me to pick it up at a nearest branch. So if you want to do it this way, where you go to your bank and request Japanese yen, make sure to give plenty of time. I would say maybe go to the bank or request it online about 2 weeks before you go, maybe 3 weeks just in case. The second way is to just bring US dollars to Japan and then go to one of the currency exchange booths to exchange your money. I don't really recommend doing it this way just because you might get the worst rate if you go to currency exchange like booth. You can definitely do it if you are in a pinch, but it would probably be my last resort. The third way to get cash, and this is something new to me, is to open a checking account with Charles Schwab. You will get a debit card, and if you use that debit card to withdraw any cash from any ATM around the world, they will waive the fee. And so many people who travel often actually recommend this card. I actually just applied a couple weeks ago and I just got my debit card in the mail a few days ago, so I haven't really tried it, but I definitely will make a video maybe after I come back from my Japan trip. So make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that video. I think it's pretty convenient to have a debit card that you can use anywhere in the world and you don't have to pay the pesky ATM fees, because I just don't like that. And this checking account is not gonna be my main checking account. I'm just gonna be depositing money as I'm traveling. They don't have any monthly fee. They don't have like a minimum amount when you open the account. I'll definitely let you know more after I come back from my trip. That is just a few things that I did to prepare myself to go to Japan for the very first time. If you are also preparing for going to Japan for the very first time, let me know in the comment below what are some of the other things that I haven't mentioned in this video that you have done. It will be helpful for other people who are watching this video to learn more of the things that they need to do to prepare for their first trip to Japan. I'm super excited to go. I don't know if you can tell from just the way I talk in this video. We have about less than 3 months away to go. I obviously just need to still pack because it's still 3 months away. I haven't packed anything, but I think I kind of have an idea on what I'm gonna be bringing. I will definitely try and make a packing video before I leave, so if you want to see what I'm packing and what I'm bringing, we're actually gonna be spending a few days in Singapore after Japan before we fly back to the US. And if you want to see what we're gonna be doing in Singapore, make sure to subscribe to my channel as well. I don't have anything else to say, so I will see you in the next one. Bye!